Hello, welcome to the Bonsai Show. This is the very first episode, and as such I should really make a few introductions. My name's Mark Akins. I own Beachville Bonsai here in Shropshire, which is where we'll be filming these episodes. What we intend to do is to give you bonsai information at bonsai pace. We don't intend to deliver any big transformation of trees, rather the evolution of trees. We will cover propagation, cuttings, air layering, and all of the little tasks that we need to keep our trees healthy, giving you information as well as instruction on how those procedures are carried out. As part of these episodes, we also intend to bring you outside features. Content from other bonsai nurseries, from potters, Japanese garden features, koi carp keepers, anything that is bonsai we intend to cover so we can all grow healthy trees, develop our own skills over the coming weeks, months, or even years, all here at Beachville Bonsai. Maintenance seems never ending sometimes around the nursery. Jobs like that is probably just a hangover from having so much gravel around the place, but it does add a certain ambience to the place. When it comes to buying your first tree, we get asked a lot of questions, and I have a bit of a standard speech around indoor and outdoor trees. And that is, with an outdoor tree you have really three factors to get right. The amount of light it gets, the amount of water the tree will get, and feeding and fertilizing. But when we then translate that to an indoor tree, we have exactly the same three factors, but we also have temperature, airflow and humidity, which technically makes it twice as hard to get an indoor tree to survive. My general advice when it comes to buying that first tree is that a Chinese elm like this one makes a great first choice. It really is an outdoor tree that will do perfectly well in your garden all year round, and that includes over the winter with any frost or cold weather. But it will also transfer to living and surviving indoors. It may well lose the odd leaf throughout the year rather than the full deciduous type of leaf loss if it's grown outdoors. But it doesn't have some of the other problems that you may well associate with trees that you could buy from garden centres as indoor trees. So the Sagarisha is a very nice tree, but one of its downfalls when you move it to an indoor position, it has to be indoors, is that it will start to get a powdery mildew, which is a light grey dust that settles on the leaves. And what actually happens is, as that leaf becomes coated in the powdery mildew, the amount of photosynthesis energy that that leaf can generate is reduced, and therefore that leaf and the tree becomes a little bit weaker, and the powdery mildew just gets a bigger and greater hold on the tree, so it becomes a vicious downward spiral. So what I will tend to do is to advise people, when they do look to buy a first tree, whether it's indoor or outdoors, the Chinese elm is a great choice. It's fairly forgiving, and you can actually take cuttings from this material which grow quite well as a bonus from it. So my advice, if you're out for a tree and picking your first one, go for a Chinese elm, whether it's in your garden, in your living room, on your balcony, terrace, windowsill. It will do reasonably well in all of those, but probably better outdoors still. Okay, one of the most common questions that we get asked at the nursery is what bonsai tools should I be buying? And I have to say, my first answer is bonsai tools shouldn't cost money, shouldn't cost real large amounts of money just to get on with a hobby. Very often keep a pair of kitchen scissors to prove that point, that this pair of scissors will be able to cut through small twigs and roots without too much of a problem. But there inevitably comes a point where people feel that they want to progress onto proper bonsai tools. So these tools are the 5 that I will typically recommend, and I will go through them in order. The first one is a pair of general purpose bonsai scissors. You can replace both a bud scissor and root scissors to a certain extent with smaller trees. The second tool are branch cutters. These will give you a more specialised cut when cutting away a branch from a trunk, and very often these will be my go-to tool for standard trimming. The next important one, in my opinion, is the humble chopstick, and this one's been well used. They're useful for repotting, making sure that all of the soil is pushed down between the roots and there are no air gaps. They can also be used for getting the old soil out. Hopefully that one's free if you've got a Chinese takeaway anywhere nearby. The other 2 tools, which I don't think in the first instance are as important as those, are a pair of gin pliers, and these not only are used for creating gins, and we'll no doubt come on to that process in a future episode, but they're also very useful for tying trees in, for twisting and for pulling on wires. So a good all-purpose tool. And finally, a pair of wire cutters. Whilst you can very likely use and get by with a pair of electrician's wire cutters, the real difference is the design of the top of this tool. And what this does is when you are cutting wire away from a tree, so a trunk or a branch that's been previously wired, you can cut it away and it doesn't squeeze and push that cut end of the wire into the tree and therefore scar it. So those are my 5 tools that I would recommend. Obviously you need somewhere safe to keep them and to keep them well maintained, but I think that will be a subject for another episode.
Hi, I'm Andrew from Oceana Bonsai. It's a pleasure to be here down at Beachfield Bonsai recording this introduction to the Oceana products. We've got Oceana Root Boost and the Oceana Boost. Just to give you an example of how the Oceana has been used by customers and by ourselves here at Beachfield, and also by some bonsai professionals who are having a great success with our product. It's been in the making for about 3 or 4 years, and we've seen some really good results with it, especially with it being an organic bonsai feed. For an example, in early April, we've repotted this Sabina specimen, and it's bounced back in absolute no time, which apparently we've been told that it's quite rare for Sabinas to come back this strong, this soon, this early. So it just is a testament really to how good the Oceana product is, especially the Root Boost. I'll go into more detail of the repotting process and how we've used it, so you guys at home can have the same success with your trees as we do here. I'd also like to extend a big thank you to everyone who's supported us over the years and helped us grow from strength to strength. So thank you to one and all. I very, very much appreciate your support.
Well, it's an interesting feature on Andy Avram and the Oceana bonsai journey to date. And Oceana makes up a valuable addition to the fertiliser and feed scene in the UK, and one that has an exciting future. If you would like to feature your garden or your bonsai trees, or even a trip that you've made that would be of interest, then you're welcome to submit video in landscape format, not portrait, in landscape, with good clear audio. And if you submit it to videosubmissions@thebonsaishow.co.uk, then we'll review that and look to feature it. We'll get a bit of fresh air, it's getting warm in here. Well, I think that's just about it for our first episode, and I hope that we've provided something of interest, and we really do look forward to seeing you in the next episode. But whilst I've got you, you may be aware of the Bonsai Show Live event that we're staging in Telford on the 1st and 2nd of October. It is the UK premier bonsai event, and we're really looking forward to viewing some of the trees that are submitted. But I don't want to keep you too long looking at this banner. If you take a look at www.thebonsaishowlive.co.uk, you'll be able to get all the information, and I'll leave you with that.